Hey, hey, hey! What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Welcome. Start of a brand new week. It's Monday. I don't know how I feel about that. Mainly because of work. Anyway, welcome. We're going to jump back in on this Team SD Buildoff, and we're going to get cooking on this. But before we do that, hey, look at that. Classic Anaheim Electronics hat. If you want one of these, hit up www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this hat, many more, shirts, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff in there. So go load up. If you are interested in any of the kits and material, any of the tools and materials that we're going to be working with here today, there's going to be an Amazon link just below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials, books for streaming, gear for, or books for, what is wrong with me? Hey, Plemo Build Report hosting. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Books for inspiration, gear for streaming, if you want to get into that. Now's a good time. It's like opposite day over here, man. It's just like, what? Anyway, if you're interested in kits, tools, paints, materials, etc., Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. They're definitely going to have what you need. So, you going to stream books, Tim? Yeah. Some days it feels like it there, Javier. Jesus. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me today. Anywho, if you like what we do here, if you enjoy the content, if you learn something, like, follow, subscribe on all the social media so you can keep up to date and all that. And if you know somebody that could use to watch this, or a group, share it with them. It'd be appreciated. Alright, so with that being said, yeah, man, it's like a whoo. I don't know what's up. Anywho, let's get sorted here real quick, yeah? If you missed Mechanism this past Friday, I highly suggest that you go back and watch it. It was a good one. We had a lot of fun on there, and we went about, what, 3 hours or so, so it's definitely worth the watch. And then also too, if you missed it last night, I was on with my good friends Jason and Sabrina for Beer Banter Build Night last night. Was on there for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, just kind of talking with them, hanging out, chilling, and that was a really, really good time as well. So if you missed that, go check that out on Instagram. Reyes Power Ranger is Jason's channel. That's usually where it happens. Definitely go check that out because it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Had a good time with those two. They're amazing people. Let's see. RF Aurora, Mr. Andrew. He's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, how do you make curves in flat plastic or make angles to make a piece like a solid back skirt that's angled? How do you make curves in flat plastic? It's somewhat simplistic there, Andrew, because, here, let's go camera 2, and I'll show you. Alright, so you got a flat... Ruh-roh, what happened? Oh, Stream Deck just took a dump on it. Okay, let's go back to you. There we go. Alright, it's back. Weird. Anyway, alright, so you got a piece of flat styrene sheet here, right? And you want to make it curved. Well, you can do a couple different things. You can just bend it and continually bend and bend and bend until it holds that shape. You can also apply heat to this. Not a lot of heat, but a little bit. And then kind of form it and shape it to the the curve or the form that you want. So that's something that you can do. But then also here we've got, let's see, we've got strip plastic here, right? And this is probably about 3/4 of a millimeter in thickness, right? What you can do with something like this, you can use kind of like the old ribbon technique, like your mom used to do when wrapping Christmas presents, right? You take like a pencil, or in this case, this is just a flat file, but we're using the handle, right? And you just hold the strip right up against there, and you just kind of pull it this way, and there you go. Forms a curve, and it is locked in, right? And then the more you do that, the more curve it's going to have, right? And the more pliable this is going to get, until there you go. And now you can really just kind of form it to almost any curve there, right? Because now that you've kind of set a curve into this piece of plastic here is way, way, way more pliable than, say, the plastic down here, which is not nearly as bendy. So those are the two ways that I will usually set in a curve into plastic. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. Let's see. Alex Andrews is over there on YouTube. Alex says, so I was going to help my nephew with his first builds of some Haros, and he was like, no, want to start when Tim's streaming. Come on now. Really? That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. That makes me feel pretty good, yeah. Let's see. Javier says, that could be a nice idea for the young modelers reading with Tim. Oh, jeez. Kenneth Sim says Tim's storytelling stream. Yeah, no. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to stick with what we got here, right? Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a much better idea than reading the little ones. Anyway, what are we going to be working on here today, kids? And I use that term loosely. Alexander says, yeah, he's currently getting set up in the other room. Nice. That's awesome. That's really cool. That is really cool. Plasma Rebuild Report is over there on Twitch. They say hello. Hello? What's going on? Super Set 5, I'm taking another stab at my master grade Banshee since I found some spare parts. Hey, there you go. Sweet. Good deal. All right, so what we're going to be working on today, we're going to be jumping back onto the head a little bit. Because we didn't really do too much to the head last time we were working with this. We scribed in a little bit here on the back, just this little box scribe back here, and that's it. We drew a little something right there, but we never really scribed it in. And then we just outline scribed these parts here, but other than that, we really didn't do too much to this. So I think we need to revisit this a little bit and kind of get back on this and see what we can do with this thing here. Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to be doing today. But first, let's lose the hat because that's just going to get in the way. And grab your eyes. Yeah. Boom. Just like that. Let's see. Hey, Brian's over there, Mr. Bro Builder. He says, up here in BK with my head buried in the spray booth. I'll be mostly silent today, just chiming in to say hi and smash the F out of the like button. Hey, thank you, Brian. Appreciate you, brother. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so with that being said, let's see what we are going to do with this guy right here, yeah? So what I think we're going to focus on today is probably the mohawk here and probably this crest right here, because I feel we can do some cool stuff with this, and not have it go like completely batshit crazy, right? Let's see. RF Aurora says, my friend came through for me. He found me a Master Grade Sandrock Endless Waltz from his local hobby shop in Japan. I should have it in 2-ish weeks. Nice. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Howard Rivera's over there on the Mecha Army Facebook group. He says, hello, how are you? A question, okay.
We have a question.
Hey. He says, I hope you can help me because the Super Mini Plas are more expensive than a high-grade Gundam. Okay. Howard, I'm not sure exactly if that's phrased in the form of a question. Even though that, you know, we're not Jeopardy here, but that's more of a statement. What, are you looking for Super Mini Plas, or what's the... I don't even know. Help me out here, buddy. Follow it up, follow it up, follow it up. Okay? And we'll try to help out as best we can. Alright, good deal. Let me expand that window here just right quick. Are you looking for Super... Double the sound. Double the fun, right? Okay. So there we go. We are ripping and roaring here. All right. So let's get this thing broken down here, yeah? Let's see if I remember how to do this, because it's been a while since we've touched the head here. It's been a while, yeah? So if I remember... there we go. There's the Mohawk. And this little guy should come off. There you go, you little bastard. And then this pops out there. Remember, we fused this together, so this is now one solid V-fin, because we're not going to be changing it back to unicorn mode anytime, right? Alright, so let's focus on these two parts here, yeah? What I think we'll probably start to do is do some scribing first. Maybe a little bit of plating up on top here, and then same type of thing with the little crest nubby here. Little bit of scribing, little bit of plating, nothing crazy. Keep it subtle, right? Keep it subtle. All right, let's start with the Mohawk first, yeah? Let's go with this. Now, what we're going to do first is grab our .20, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to reinforce or get a scribe line right here along this this little raised edge here. This part is more recessed, this part is more raised, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a panel line, just basically outline this panel here, and then we're going to bring it across the top and connect those two, and then basically just make this look completely separated, right? So that's what we're going to do first. So let's get into that, and then we'll move on to the next one, yeah? Okay. So there's that. Easy peasy. You can see how that's a much more pronounced shadow there, right? So that's looking really nice and good. Do the same thing to this other side here. Okay, good stuff there. All right, so now the next thing we need to do is connect these two here. I don't know if I want to... Let's see if we can get this connected like this. Just using a scribing jig here. This may or may not work. I don't know. But we'll give it a shot, yeah. Right there. Yeah, that actually looks like it's working. All right. I was a bit worried because this isn't a completely square piece. This is slightly tapered. So that leaves some wiggle room for the for the scribing jig to sit. So, but we got it connected and it's looking good, yeah? That's the most important thing. Okay. All right. And there we go. Scribe across the top makes that whole back section look like it's separated. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, so here real quick. Let's go back over here to the Mecha Army Facebook group. Howard is back with us here. He says, is that I want to buy the Megazord. Oh, he wants to buy the Megazord, and it's worth more or less $300 MMPR. Okay, and before it was about 60. That's why I preach and try to buy Super Sentai Mini Plas, is that they are limited. Okay. Yeah, you know, the one thing about everything that's going on right now, Howard, is that with number one, with Japan being shut down almost, at least in their their shipping lanes and stuff like that, everything's becoming kind of expensive, right? So that's part of it. And then Gunpla Uruguay over here on YouTube, he's got another good point. He says Super Mini Pla have limited runs. If you didn't pre-order, then you're kind of out of luck at this point, right? So that's one of those things. It's supply and demand at this point right now, unfortunately. There's not much you can do, honestly, and that's a kind of just one of those things you have to deal with, unfortunately. Yeah. Just, I would say, shop around, see if anybody else has it at better pricing. It's the best you can do, honestly. Sorry, man. Let's see. VFX10 Viper, Mr. Josh is with us. So is Julius Dembski. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. Mr. Zach Bleich is with us as well. He says, good afternoon, everyone. What's going on, Zach? Let's see. Kenneth Sim is another reason it's expensive because of licensing. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah. Howard says that was before the virus. Yeah, I mean, still, what Javier says, kind of even, it matters even before the virus, right? Since they're limited runs, if you didn't get in on it at the beginning, the price is just going to go up, unfortunately. So it's just one of those things, man. It's and that's like with anything that has a limited edition or a limited run. You know, you look at like P Bandai, right? Some of the older P Bandais or the Mechanicore kits, especially, they make limited runs and then they don't make any more. And once those are done and sold out, the price is just going to go up, right? One of the perfect examples is the Ellen Kshatriya, made back what, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. 1/100 scale plastic edition of the Kshatriya, and that went for, what did it go for, guys? Like 200 initial, you know, on the initial run. And I've seen it up over 700 to damn near $1,000 here in current time. So it's one of those things, man. Limited runs. It's just something you got to deal with. Let's see. Terry T's over here with us on YouTube. He says, I've been watching the live from different Tokyo landmarks because we're at that point now. And the Shibuya Scramble Crossing is also empty. Wait, Terry, are you in Japan? What? I didn't know. I thought you were at home. Like, wait a minute. Like, when did that happen, right? Jeez. Let's see. Zach says, Zach Blythe says, prices go up because a lot of kits are one production run a year. It's all supply and demand. Yeah. And Terry's like, haha, not in Japan. Okay. I must have missed something. I don't know. I Never Reloaded is over there on Twitch. He says, what's up, brother? How are you? Hey, man. Good, good. Very good. Terry C says, at home, watching live camera feed of different Tokyo landmarks. Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Bill says, yeah, popular design, and Bandai still hasn't made a 1/100 Kshatriya, so the Ellen hobby is super desired. Yeah, yeah. Chris Pab says the Ellen Kshatriya is not worth it. The Mirza Kshatriya, however, yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna get a plastic, if you want a plastic 1/100 Kshatriya, what other choice do you have, right? Yeah. Brandon says recommendations for the widest chested master grade kit. The O? That's the first one that comes to mind. I would say the O. Yeah. Mayor Philbin says, same with stuff like G-System kits. Yeah, well, I mean, any resin kits for that matter, because all the resin kits are going to be, and I said resin, so I know Pabs will chime in. Because, I mean, he's already here, but still. But, you know, any resin kit like that, I mean, that's limited run, and that's desirable. It's going to be like that, you know. It's just, you know, it's one of those things. Limited runs, you know, once they're all bought up, it's just that way. They get expensive, you know. Pab says yes. See? His ears perked up, you guys. No, Pabs, we were talking about the desirability of resin after the fact and how that gets expensive, right? All right, so next up, what we're going to do here is we are going to outline scribe these raised pieces here on the side and get these looking like they are separate, right? Now, one thing that we got to do is we've got to scribe through this lower tier of plastic and then this raised piece of plastic here. We're going to go straight through both and basically make it look like everything is separated. There we go. And just like that. You can see there that nice deep shadow along the side, and that's going to look really good. All right. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to go down this panel here and make that look separate. It's all about making these parts look like they're separated, right? And that's the thing that we've been saying about the unicorn design, you know, since we started working on this thing. It's very panel-y, right? A lot of panels on this thing. So we just need to make it look like there's a bunch of separations and stuff. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to prescribe this, and then start bringing that line all the way through. We're going to switch it back to this direction. Just like that. There we go. Alright, good stuff. And then we're going to do the same thing on this back side. Okay, good there. We're going to pull that line down this little corner here. Same thing with this little guy here. Just tie all that in and make that look complete. There we go. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. We need to connect these two lines across the sides here. Now, if you look, this already has somewhat of a recess right there, and you can see it right there on the shadow. It's a pre-molded recess, so we can actually use that to our advantage and just go straight across there and hook these lines together. There we are. Let's see if that will catch on the camera here. A little bit. Not the greatest in the world. We're looking at up here, right? Yeah, it could be better. Anyway, let's go ahead and make sure all these are nice and clean there. We're going to do the same thing to this side. Okay. Just doing our due diligence here, making sure all these lines match on both sides here, right? So what we're going to do next, pull this line here. Just like that. Okay. Alright, and then we'll go over the top here, connect these two lines. And let's see how we did here. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I dig it. we are. All right. Looking good, looking good. So now these pieces, these two side pieces, look like they're completely separate from the main mohawk here, right? One thing that we forgot to do is pull this little line here. Let's see. Yep, we're looking good. All right. And now what we're going to need to do is take these lines right around the front here, because we don't just want them to end right there at the end of that panel, right? We want these to wrap around in a logical manner. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good there. Let's do the other one here on this side. All right. So, again, we can't just let these end here. What we need to do, since this has this insert here at the front, this little gray insert, we actually will need to wrap these around on the inside of this panel here, just to complete the look, right? So, we need to just kind of freehand this as best as we possibly can. Okay, there we are. Make sure this goes back as far as we need it to go. And drag out any debris from that line. Yeah, and there we go. You can kind of see that there on the inside. Not very well, but still, it's there. You just gotta trust me, right? You just gotta trust me. Alright. Do the same thing on the other side here. We're just gonna raw dog this right down into the panel here. Okay, and let's see if you can see that on that side at all. No, you can't. Oh well. We tried, right? We tried. All right, so now we've got everything pretty well outlined, scribed here. I don't know about these little raised pieces here. You know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and separate these two. Why not, right? Because like we said, the unicorn is panel-y. Meaning made up of many panels. Many, many panels. This is one of those kits where it's either a panel lining dream or a nightmare. There's no in between, kids. There's no in between. Not with the unicorn. All right. So we've got the parts separated on the face surface on both sides. But that's, again, we're not done. We can't be done. We need to bring this over along the two sides here to fully sell that look, right? So we just need to bring these two panel lines down right into that panel line that we scribed here before. Let's see, much like that there. You can see the little panel line running down right along the side here. Let's see if we can bring it maybe a little bit closer to the camera. You guys can see it a little bit better. Yeah, see, there you go. So now, when we look at this, we can tell that this top piece is separate from this lower piece, right? We'll do the same thing on this side. Panelly. Definition. To be made up of many panels. Panelly. Can you use it in the sentence? The Gundam Unicorn is overly panelly. There we are. All right. So there we go. That top and bottom section are now looking like they're separate pieces. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Let's do the same thing to this side here real quick, and then we'll move on. Excuse me. Get some notches in here. Get some other panel lines. Maybe a little bit of plating. Just really make this whole mohawk look nice. There we go. That's one side down. Almost. Okay, next side. Almost there. Very good. All right. So that is pretty much separated. Focus. There we go. All the way around. All those little parts are looking really, really quite nice. And obviously we didn't alter the proportions. We didn't add anything, any of that. It just looks a whole lot better than what it did before, as in just one chunk of plastic, right? So, yeah. Let's get caught up from to the chat here. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Zach Bleish has a great suggestion here. When Brandon wanted to know what's the widest chested master grade, right? Zach said the Guxion is a big boy, but not a master grade. Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably say the Guxion is thicker than the O at that point. Probably. Yeah, probably. Terry T, I was simply commenting on how shut down Japan is currently. Yeah. Finito. Kind of seemed like the 160th high 2M Dom or Goof. Yeah. Yeah. Bill says those things, look at the Calamity kits. Those things on resale market can be hella expensive. Well, yeah. I mean, those are, not only are they beautiful kits, obviously, Luca is, pretty damn well known in our circles as well, so. To have a, Luca Zampriello kit, something about it, So, I Never Reloaded is over there on Twitch. He's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, so what's your favorite master grade kit you've built? Well, that's an easy one. Well, here we go. Justa. Obviously, this is the GBWC kit, but yeah, Justa, hands down. Justa. 100. Just 100 over 100. It's one of those just like quintessential kits. Perfect proportions, wonderful engineering, gimmicks, posability is off the hook. You can do so much customization to it because it's just a blank canvas. And it just, even if you did it up stock, still a great looking kit. Sananju Stein is very, very similar to it. But I'm not a huge fan of the Sananju head. It's just one of those preferences, right? But for me, yeah, the Justa, 100% easy. Howard Rivera over there on the Mecha Army Facebook group says, from the heart, you're the only one who answered me the questions. I love the work and how you make your videos. Oh, thank you. I'm from Puerto Rico. Dude, Howard, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I wish I could have told you better, better advice. I do. It's just one of those situations, man. Sorry, buddy. Bill says, little kid in me wants to comment about Tim running his chisel down the backside. Good thing I am more mature than that. Yeah, right? Run it up your backside, Bill. Pab says, those lines are super interesting. I was watching Venice recently, completely empty. Yeah, he said. Pab says it's eerie, right? Terry says, I could imagine. I'm sure Italy is still hurting pretty bad too. Yeah. Pab says they were the European epicenter for a long time. They're definitely hurting. Yeah. Alex Andrews over there on YouTube. He says, I tried my chisel out the other night. Didn't go well. Aw. Bill says, Alex, it is a skill that requires muscle memory. Practice will make you more proficient. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Alex says, probably my lack of understanding. I basically wrecked the piece. You can fix it. Trust me. Terry Tian says, and before you know it, you'll be raw dogging in no time. Hey. I need to make a little thing on that. Raw dog, right? It's just funny. It's just a funny phrase. I don't know. Alex says, I'll get a photo later and post it on the Mech Army Facebook page. Nice. Superset5 is over there on Twitch. He says, you should add more panels to make it truly panelistic. God, no. 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 Jesus. No more panels. For the love of God, no. Alex says, I was just practicing on a free Master Grade GM Sniper 2. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if it's free, you don't really worry about messing it up, right? Let's see. Alex says, I'm not like intentionally making panels. I'm just getting used to the tool. Gotcha. I kind of gouged parts off the back skirt. Whoops. Nice. Brian says, I can tell you as a thing or two about Calamity kits. Yeah, Brian's got more than a few, right? Pretty good stuff. Creeping freely for you, Miss John Lynn. She says, Tim, looking good. Thank you, Jay. Mayor Philbin says, what do you guys use for your top coats, flat coats, gloss, all that? That's a question. That's a question, Merritt.
We have a question.
So, for me, I stick within the Mr. Hobby ecosystem, and I will use their Mr. Super Clear line of clear coats, right? So when it comes to gloss, obviously, Mr. Super Clear Gloss, Mr. Super Clear Matte, actually, or semi-gloss sometimes. And what I'll do is I will decant it and then run it through my airbrush, and I've had great success with that. Great success with that. You know, you can get it in the GX line of jars and all that. I'm a bit hesitant on that because it's the UV cut. I don't know. I've always had great luck with the standard Mr. Super Clear. Everything is coming out like daisies for me. If you looked at Kylo Ren, the matching of the texture with the with his top and then his kind of skirt thing at the bottom, they're two different materials, right? And I was able to match the hue and the texture just simply by obviously the color is the same, but then the top coat mimics what that kind of bottom skirt is, because that bottom layer is rubber, right? It's that like weird. This is the hood, but see, it's got that sheen to it, right? But yeah, this is a rubber piece, and I was luckily able to mimic both in color and in sheen. So yeah, I was able to do that with Mr. Super Clear, and I was very, very happy with it. So yeah, Mr. Super Clear is what I go with, Merritt. So yeah. Yeah, Kenneth Sim, the GX line. Yeah, I'm kind of the thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And plus, I can get Mr. Super Clear in the cans way easier than I found the GX jars, right? So again, it's just like, it's one of those things. I'm just kind of set in my ways on that, right? And I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. Drain Bramage Customs over there on Twitch. He says, definitely agree with the open canvas for work on the Jesta. Currently blowing the dust off the workbench on my Jesta Cannon build. The unicorn is looking great, man. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Superset5 is also over there on Twitch. He says, I bought a Gundam Banshee Universe figure for reference to add and reshape details on the master grade. Now that I'm studying the figure, I'm starting to have second thoughts. Nice. Merritt says, thanks, with the little tongue sticking out. Yeah, well. Merritt says, I did the same, just sprayed, though it wasn't as flat as I thought it may be. He says, matte, that is. Maybe multiple coats. So, Merritt, what I would do is this. If you want a flatter, dustier look, hold your airbrush back a little bit farther than you normally would, right, from the piece. For the Jesta, I did that, and I held my airbrush back probably a good 10, 12 inches, right? So, I mean, you're shooting like this on it, like, you know, far away. A lot farther than you normally would. And what's going to happen is there's going to be some drying in between shooting from the airbrush until landing on the piece. And that's going to create that nice, super flat, dusty kind of look. And that's what I did with the Jesta, and I think that it just came out really, really, really nice. So if you want a flatter look, pull the airbrush back just a little bit more than what you would normally do, and let that dry in the air just a bit before it hits the piece. It'll look good. It'll look really good. Yeah. Ricky Paul Carlson says, future floor polish. Just kidding, right? Merritt says 2-to-1 thinner, thinner to varnish. Yeah. I mean, it depends, right? It depends. Like for me, if I'm decanting Mr. Super Clear, it's already pretty thin. Obviously, I'll let it gas off and everything like that, get the propellant out of there. And then I'll add just a little shot of Mr. Leveling Thinner. And that's, man, that's been the ticket for me, man. It's just been really, really, really very good. And I swear by it. Hands down. It's what, actually, it's what, and I know I pull this out every once in a while, and you guys gonna go crazy on it, but he's getting dusty a little bit. But that is all, you know, Mr. Super Clear right there. So the finish is very, very, very nice on this guy, right? If you look at the shield, I mean, it's very smooth, very, very smooth, right? But he is dusty right now, so I gotta take a little compressed air to him and clean him off, maybe the airbrush or something like that. But you know, you can see the kind of finish that you can achieve, and the beautiful part about the Mr. Super Clear is obviously, you know, you can't. It hides the edges of the decals just superbly. Especially on this big ass sumbitch right here, right? You look at that thing. Come on, focus. Of course, you don't want to focus on the one thing I want you to focus on, right? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there are no visible edges on that decal at all, even in real life. Like, I can hold it, you know, to different angles and try to make out the edges and everything. Just can't. They're just not there. It literally looks painted on. And that's one of the other great things about Mr. Super Clear is it goes on so damn nice. Just buttery, silky smooth. It's just great stuff. Bill says, for best versatile master grade kits, GM Sniper 2, Jesta, Sinanju Stein, Narrative are great choices. Narrative versions fixed some small issues with the original Sinanju Stein. Oh, really? I did not know that. I mean, I'm a Stein fanboy just from the engineering standpoint alone on that kit. It's a beautifully engineered kit. Absolutely. I never reloaded over there on Twitch. He says, oh man, that looks so good. Thank you, buddy. Merritt says, all right, cured in the air with spraying 2 to 3 inches. Makes sense, though. Great idea. We'll try that. Also, how quick is cure time? On this clear coat, just for safety's sake, I'll leave it set an hour. Other than that, you'll be fine. It'll be dry to the touch in about 10 minutes, but for full cure time, yeah, let it sit about an hour. Let's see. Kenneth Sim says, did Tim finish the base for the Blue Destiny? Not yet. I just been so freaking busy here lately. It's been nuts. I laid down that base coat that I showed you last week, and it's just been basically sitting there. Yeah, it's been sitting there. So I need to tape it up and go over that and kind of get that moved along its way, right? Um, I would love to be able to finish that this week. I would love to. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would really like to finish that very soon. We'll see, right? Fingers crossed. Let's see. Howard Rivera over there on the Mech Army Facebook group, he says, "Wow, how beautiful GM! That's my favorite GM Destiny. I saw the full manga. Yeah, that's kind of my version of the Blue Destiny. I love the original blue version. The '01 Blue Destiny. But I liked the Gundam face on 2 and 3, right? So I went back and just kind of refurbished that from an old build that I did back in, I think, like 2004, something like that. It was starting to fall apart. The paint was chipping off. Pieces were popping off and stuff like that. So I just was like, I'm going to refinish this. So stripped it all down to nothing and refurbished it and made it look what you guys see there. So if you guys want to see the builds and stuff like that, go check out www.shadamecha.com. You'll see the more pictures of the Blue Destiny and everything like that. So it's good stuff. Merritt says I am going through leveling thinner like crazy, dude. Yeah, right. It's one of those things that are going to become a very, very hot commodity very, very soon if things don't change. Yeah. Bill says, Merritt, for a true flat, I would recommend not going to the best primer, but keep it at the 800 to 1,000 grit primer. It helps to sell the matte finish. Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a really good suggestion there, Bill, because whenever I flat coat, whenever I have an idea that, hey, this is going to end up being, flat, matte, whatever, I always start with Mr. Surfacer 1000, right? Some guys will use 1200, some will use 1500, and that's all good and well, but I start with 1000, and that'll be my base primer. And I've had great luck with it. So, yeah. Bill continues, says, Mecha Warehouse has the 110 milliliter bottles of leveling thinner. USA Gundam Store is supposed to get some in. Hit Adam up on IG for updates. Yeah. Either Instagram or on Facebook, whatever floats your boat. Yeah. Merritt says, thanks for answering the questions. Usually not concerned about time, but deadline for Buildoff coming up on Sunday. Oh, yeah, the great Canadian Buildoff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, eh. Right. Fuck. Sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry, Merritt. I had to do it. I had to break out the Canadian accent there, eh? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I'm going to hell. Anyway, Gundam Croatia is over there on Twitch. He says, hello there. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. All right, so back to the unicorn. The unicorn! All right. So, I think for as of right this second, we're done with the .20. We may come back to that, though, and maybe pop in some panel lines or clean up some of these panel lines or something like that. But what I want to do next is maybe a couple notches just to kind of sell the mechanical look of it. Let's go with, you know what? No, let's not go with .30. Let's go with .60. Yeah, our big boy. Let's go with that. And let's see, what can we do here? Let's go ahead and we're going to put some notches up here on this Focus this top line here, yeah? That's what we're gonna do, eh? Yeah. That's what we're what we're gonna do there, eh? Shit. Oh, it's just I'm sorry, Merritt. It's just too damn funny. I can't help myself. Yeah. Oh man. These Canadian guys are gonna hate me by the end of this, I swear. Oh yeah, that child of Mecha, he's a real downer, eh? Merritt says my adopted accent. That guy, he's not a very nice person, yeah? It's like the worst compliment you can get in Canada. Oh, he's not a nice person, no. Oh, alright, I gotta stop because it'll just continue. Anyway, all right. So let's do a couple notches here up on this line. First one is I'm gonna push into the line here just to get the groove established, just like that. Let's check our spacing. Spacing looks good. Okay. Cool. So let's get the debris out of that line. Just like that. And we'll start squaring up the back of this notch here. Yeah. So there's that first notch right there. Nice and tight up against the edge of the piece. I like it. It's a nice big beefy looking panel line there with the 0.60. And we are going to get the 0.20 back in here so we can clean the debris out of this line. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, the Canadians are coming out. The Canadians are coming out. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. So, Simon Lamb, what's going on, Simon? He says, yeah, we still love you, Tim. Oh, thank you. Merritt gives us a hee-hee at the back end there. Nice. Gundam Creation says, my son is on the SD Unicorn. Nice. Excellent. He says, Canadians are so nice. Is that in your nature? And as I heard, you are crazy and war's basically death. Whoa. Really? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I love my Canadians, man. Y'all are good people. I don't care what people say about you. Nah. Love the Canadians, man. Love the Canadians. Every single one of them. Good people. Good people. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Javier, up in Uruguay over there on YouTube, he's got a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, describe a perfect grade GP01. Which chisel would you recommend? 0.2, 0.3, or even higher? For panel lines, Javier, I would still stick with the 0.15. Because, this is the thing, what you want to do is sell that illusion of scale, right? So the smaller panel lines that you have there, it shows like a tighter tolerance, and that's going to ultimately sell that illusion of scale. It's going to make the whole thing look bigger, right? Now for notches and things like that, I'd still keep with the 0.3. I'd still keep with the 0.6. Maybe throw in a full-on 1 millimeter in there every now and then. Especially since the perfect grade obviously is much bigger than, say, a master grade or what have you. But yeah, I'd still keep with the 0.15, man. If you look at what's his name, Anaheim Hero, on like Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. He'll work in 144 and 100s most of the time. And what he does is he uses a 0.1 millimeter for his panel lines, which is super, super small. But in the end, when you see the end piece, man, it does have that illusion of scale. So I would stick with the 0.15 if it was me. That's just my advice. So, yeah. R4 Andrew has a question for us. Let's reload that button for him here.
We have a question.
How would you go about making a 1/100 lance out of styrene? Whew. It's a great question. It's not an easy form to shape, right? It's not like you can just take styrene and just kind of make it, right? Andrew, what I would probably do is to probably cut what are called splines. And let me see if I can illustrate it here for you. So let's see. So you've got kind of got this type of shape here, right? Your lance shape, right? With the deal here and then the handle and all that, right? You've kind of got that general shape, right? But this is obviously circular. It's a conical shape, right? So what I would do is make what are called splines. And what they are, they're basically like form shapes, right? So make one flat piece of styrene going all the way up, but have it taper in this shape, and have two of them in kind of like a cross style pattern inside of here, right? And then what I would do is maybe, I don't know, every 5-10 millimeters, have a circular spline going across here, and then just keep going down, down, down until you basically get to your point, right? And what it's going to look like is it's going to be like that, and then a smaller one, and then a smaller one, and then a smaller one in the cross section, right? That's what I would do. And then what you can go ahead and do is fill in those voids with epoxy putty. Let that cure, get it to your conical, your final conical shape, and then with like a Dremel or something, then you can come back in and you can start to hollow out this, this section in here, if you wanted to obviously, number one, reduce the weight, but then also to insert your handle into that section as well, right? So that's what I would do, right? That's what I would do. So probably the easiest for me, Let's see. Andrew says, could you get a solid chunk of round styrene that's in the max diameter you want, set it up on a drill, and use a template and some kind of cutting tool to make a makeshift lathe? You could do that. The problem would be to find a solid chunk of round styrene in that diameter. That is somewhat of a more wasteful solution. But I don't see why it wouldn't work at that point. Now another solution, and this isn't the easiest solution, but if you wanted to fully hollow out, if you wanted a truly hollow conical shape like that, you could go with the spline method first, mold it in resin, and then take some very quick setting resin, just a little bit, not enough to fill up the entire cavity, dump that in there, and then just kind of twist that around, kind of rotoscope it and everything like that. And then what'll happen is the resin will coat the inside of that cure. You'll get a nice decent thickness all the way around, and you're gonna have to twist it and do all that for a while, probably good 10-15 minutes just to make sure, and then once you pop that out, you can cut off the back end, and that should be a fully hollowed out form. But again, that's not an efficient method, but if you wanted a truly hollow methodology, that would probably get you the best results. It's going to take a lot of work, though. So either way, to form your own lance like that in a traditional method, it's going to take work. There's no getting around it. It's going to take work. Terry T says, going to second Tim on the spline method, my main body for the Natchin was constructed that way, and it's super straightforward to achieve odd angles and specific curves. Yeah. Bill says the tip would overheat on the lathe and it would bend. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right, Bill. Andrew says, all right, thank you all. Hey, that's what we're here for. Gundam Croatia over there on Twitch, he's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, in a fight, who would win between the new Gundam and the Turn A Gundam? Sazabi. I don't know, man. That's not my expertise. I have no idea. I know which one looks cooler. I'd say go with the new Gundam. That's all I got. I don't know. That's all I got. All right. So back to this. Let's get this other notch set in here. Perfect. All right. Good. Spacing is dead on. Okay, we've got the groove. Now let's get a little of this debris out of this panel line here. And then we'll go back, reinforce this, and get it to its proper depth. Sweet. Okay. Looks like both depth and length on both of these notches are looking good and matchy-matchy. Focus. There we go. And there's a nice angle right there. You can see it in the shadows. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. That's what we want to see. Okay, so those two are done. Now, let's move on to another notch here. I'm thinking probably right along in here. Okay. This little notch here is a bit tricky because you've got this this shape right here that's essentially blocking your the angle of your chisel, right? So you have to go in at a full 90 degrees, and even sharper than that just to get into the corner here, right? Which is tough. It's not an easy angle at all. Get the debris out of there. But just nice quick passes with the edge of the chisel, and that'll get you in good shape, right? And there we go. Yeah, that looks nice. It's about 1.5 millimeters off of this separation line. So we're going to go about 1.5 millimeters down. Right about there. That looks good. Do the same technique here. Yeah. All right. So let's see how close we are. Just for shits and giggles, right? Let's see how close we are. All right. Let's see. The first one on this side is, yep, 1.5 millimeter off of that separation line, and this one is 1.5 millimeters. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. And that's another thing that takes practice, is your ability to gauge, just by sight, gauge, different distances, right? Like back in the day when I first started, with chisels and stuff like that, like I had to measure everything, every single little distance, with a ruler, the whole 9 yards. Now I can usually tell what, how long or how far or what the distance is between 2 points on, little shapes like this pretty accurately. And that comes with practice, and it just comes with just by doing it all the damn time. All the damn time. And trust me, you will get there as well. Given enough experience. And let's see. There we are. That looks good. Cool. Excellent. All right, so I'm done with the notches on that. I think just keeping it simple, keeping it somewhat understated, I think is going to look really, really good. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to do. All right. Let's see. Kenneth Sim says, could just get the Kodo weapons set. They had lance weapons. Yeah, I mean that's another option as well. But RF Andrew says, can't use the Kodo lance for the Bandai Open. Well, you'd probably be able to get away with that. I mean, if you can use it for GBWC, you can use it for the Bandai Hobby Open. Just saying. Terry T says, a hollow method I found on the Hobby Japan magazine was to sculpt the shape in foam, and then coat the foam with epoxy putty. After putty is cured, you carve out the foam and you're left with the hollow. Yeah, that's another way. Yeah, not this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best way. It's definitely a way. Yeah. Let's see. Bill says, I think the Gion comes with a lance. You could modify it. Yeah. But Andrew says, that's another kit I'm having a hard time finding. Yeah. Bill says, actually, Calamity just made a Gion. Might try looking at his build to see what he did. Alexander says, Tim, we haven't had the streams requirement of... Oh! Forgot about it. Yeah. Yeah. Tiger drill. Right? There you go. Tiger drill. No MSG. Anyway. Let's see. Kenneth Sim says 100 Bergagiros from F91. I don't know what that is. Of course, I never really liked the F91 stuff. Anyway, Julio's over there. What's going on, Mr. Clippin' Nubs? He says, what up, Army? What's going on, buddy? Andrew says, I might just do a recast of my Vignagina 2's lance. There you go, right? Superset over there on Twitch. Looks like he's got a question.
We have a question.
How much metal parts can be used on a model for the Bandai Hobby Open? I'm thinking on using a MadWorks photo etch set with metal thrusters. If it can be, like I said, if it can be used at GBWC, it can be used in Bandai Hobby Open. Mike, I would say go and read the rules very thoroughly and see if there's anything in there that would drive you away from using it. That would be my best advice. Yeah. Bill says Tim likes to try tools out privately before showing them on the stream. Well, I gotta know if it's good or not, right? I have to compose my thoughts. Why not? Yeah. Actually, but I think we did. I think I did test this on. What did I do? I think I tested it on Mechanism actually. I think so. Y'all want to see it? This is a nice little. The Tiger drill is actually decent. I'm not gonna lie. Here, let's real quick. I'll show you the Tiger drill. So stupid. Let's see. Let's get that hooked up there. And let's see. The cool thing about the Tiger drill, right? And let's back this camera up a little bit here. Let's go about 50. The cool thing about it is it is corded. I was mistaken there, but it is completely corded. But one of the cool things is that it has a very low, like you can hear, that's low RPM, right? The hum is very, very similar. That's the hum of the Tack Life. There's Tiger Drill, right? Very, very similar in rotational speeds. Obviously, form factor, the Tiger Drill is corded. The Tack Life, the little mini one, is cordless, and it is a bit smaller, so I do like that. And you can crank that sucker up to about there, right? With the Tiger Drill, you can really get some power up in that bitch. Look at that. That's got some torque on it, you guys. The other cool thing about this is that it has the jaws on this, the chuck, is pretty awesome because there you can see it's zero clearance right there for even the smallest little drills. But then this sumbitch opens up way big, right? And you can fit full-on Dremel bits in there like it's nothing. And the wild thing is that the shaft of the bit goes like all the way in. Like I've never seen a rotary tool like that before, right? And this has got a nice ergonomic handle because it's got like two cutouts here, and then it's got a flat section back here, so you can rest it right there on your finger, and then hold it just like a pen, and you can do your nice your nice detail work and everything. Now, let's get this thing cranked up all the way to full power, right? This thing will eat through some material. Right? It's got that nice melty, molten look there, but if you just kind of if you're nice with it, see the snow that we're getting? That shows me that it's just grinding at that point. Right? Yeah. So that's really good. That's really, really good. So that created just a nice little bevel there. But if you needed to remove material like a Dremel, man, you can get it melting like crazy. But then if you needed to grind something, this thing is capable of that too. So this is it's come on, get out of there. Bad thing about having like zero clearance there, right? You gotta pull the damn thing out and just pop that out. There we go. Now it comes out. There it goes. But that's one of the nice things about this. I kind of described this as the bridge between our baby Dremel and like the full-on badass like wrecking crew Dremel, right? Like this is your hierarchy, and it's a good tool to have. If you've got a tack life, and if you've got a full-on, full power, Dremel that goes up to 30,000 RPM, this is definitely a good bridge between these two, right? Zach says Tiger Drill is between. Sorry, had to do it. Between 3,000 RPM and 12,000 RPM. So that's awesome, yeah? Because the main Dremel bottoms out at 5,000 and goes up to 30,000, yeah? So it's a quality little tool, and the fact that you don't have to interchange the chuck in this thing, I really, really like that part. I really like that part because you can fit. Let's see here. These two shafts here on both of these bits obviously are two different sizes, and I don't have to change the chuck in this to accommodate those two different sizes, right? Jeez. There it goes. So if I wanted to use this bit in here, I could just clamp that down and we're off to the races, right? There it is. And that's at 3,000 RPM, the lowest setting. And that's just taking off just little bits of plastic, like hardly anything, right? But for very delicate work, This is great. This is great. Yeah. So, Tiger Drill, pretty good. Pretty good. It's a good find there, Zach. Good find, man. I like it. I like it. It's good stuff. Yeah. It's good stuff. And it's got a cool name. Tiger Drill. All right, let's get caught up with the chat, yeah? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Yeah, I thought we used it. I thought I showed it on Mechanism on Friday. I couldn't remember if I did or not. So much stuff was going on that show. It was crazy. Alex says, I'm just waiting for that to become a transition one stream randomly. Yeah, right. Kenneth Sim says, Tim training with the Tiger Drill, right? Julio says, yo, tack life forever. Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving up baby dremel anytime soon. Definitely not, because I mean, this is a nice little this is a great little tool as well. I mean, it's just so nice and, you know, compact and everything, but the two together, actually the three together, the holy trinity of rotary tools there, man. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. Let's see. Alex says, why have one when you have both? Yeah, exactly. Zach says, it's 5 volt, 3,000 to 12,000 RPM. There we go. Yeah, USB charged. Yes. So it's wired, but it's got here, let me show you. It's wired, but it's got a USB plug, right? So you can plug this into pretty much any, you know, USB. Like I have a powered USB hub over here to power, you know, a bunch of different devices and stuff for the stream and to charge my phone, and to charge my wireless mouse, and some of the lights are USB and stuff. What happened there? Oh, weird. Like everything shut down at once. Weird. Anyway, yeah, all of that is, you know, over on my little USB, you know, powered hub and everything. Oh, weird. Now my screen is acting up, so we'll reset that here real quick. Turn that off. Let it sit. I think it's because I have it. I just plugged in the mouse to the thing, and it's just not. It didn't want to cooperate very much. Anyway, let's see. Kenneth Sims, and they had 2 models, USB battery charged or cable. Yeah, the cable doesn't, I don't feel gets in the way. I think it's good, right? Ooh, that's upside down. Let's go and let's flip the screen here. Got that, and we're in good shape. So, just real quick to explain, the little screen that I have sitting in front of me, since the camera is looking down and it's kind of reversed, I have to reverse the orientation on the screen every time I turn it on. It sucks, but it is what it is. Still a nice screen, though. Let's see. Superset5 over there on Twitch, he says, it was snowing here last night. When my dogs came back inside, they were all wet and were covered in some snow. Well, that's fun, right? Wet dogs. Blech. Let's see. Robert Cottrell's over there on the Mecha Army Facebook group. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Brian says, that's some cool shit, Zach. How do I get my hands on one? There you go. Zach says, brought it in with those polishers. Didn't want to just carry the wheels and not have a rotary tool available. Good call. Superset5 says, I live here in Indiana. I'm starting to think we skipped summer and fall and are heading straight into winter, right? Cold cold front moved in. Bill says the battery charged would put it more in direct competition with the tack life. True. I don't mind the cord. I'll be honest with you. I don't mind it. It's not big and bulky like the Dremel is. You know, the big Dremel. Hey, what's up, Carl? Mr. 45 Bits. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. There he is. With the weird face emojis. Nice. What time is it getting to be? 4:45. We got 15 minutes. Okay, let's continue working, yeah? Because, like I said, I want to... we got the notches done. We got the lines done on this. Let's get a little bit of plating going on here. Let's see. That's too wide. We need like a 3.2 if we're going to do something up here on this thing. That looks like a 4mm, and it's... Ooh, wait a minute. That might not be too wide. Let's see. Bevel to bevel. Ooh, look at that. That falls right in between the two bevels. Happy. Yes, that's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We are doing this. All right, so what I'm thinking is like a 6 or 7mm piece of this strip here. Let's go hog there. Let's go 7, yeah? Maybe 8. I don't even know what this is, but it's a roundabout. Anywho, flatten out the front. Get that there, and there is our little strip that we're going to be applying to the top of this crest. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is that even... Ooh, wait a minute. That does not look flat one little bit. That does not look straight at all. We're going to put that off to the side here, and we're going to cut us a new piece because that does not look straight, flat, or anything. So, let's get any and all debris off of this plate here. Number one, flatten that up. Let's cut us another piece, and then let's check to see if that... Yeah, see, that's much more square than the other piece is. So we're going to set that off to the side. Excuse me. Alright, so we're going to crank this down a little bit. We're going to shorten this. I don't even know by how much. I'm just kind of winging it here at this point. We're going to flatten that. We're going to chop that. And there... Actually... You know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to throw that... We're going to throw these pieces off to the scrap heap over there, and what we're gonna do is miter. We're gonna miter this, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Come on, get up in there, piece of shit. Just like that. Pop that over there. That's a 1mm bevel now. We'll take that out and work with this edge here. Turn that over. That edge there. And then you've got this nice little picket fence kind of look here to it, right? So that's what we want. That's what we want. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back a ways here. And again, I don't even know how much. We're just going to kind of eyeball it here, just kind of free form, raw dogging this thing. We're going to cut that, and there is our new little piece, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. All right, so here's our Focus. There we go. Here's our two pieces, right, that we're going to put together. But first, we need to do a little operation on this guy right here, right? So we're going to bevel one end and make that look pretty nice and interesting, right? So we're going to bring the knife up here until it's parallel, and then we're just going to cut down at a nice bevel, and there we are. Ooh, yeah. See, look at that. Focus. See how it's nice and beveled there at the front? That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. All right. Do a little finish sanding here. Just to get that all nice and neat and clean. Perfect. Okay. Just make sure everything is nice and straight. Let's do a little finish sanding here on the front edge. But it's looking good. That's looking really, really good. Okay, so now we need to pop this right there, right up against the front of this. Yeah, see, that's gonna look really nice. That's gonna look really, really nice. All right, grab that with our tweezers. Get our BSI, little Bob Smith Industries super glue, and we're gonna get a little drop on this guy. Spread that in a nice thin layer, and now we're going to ever so carefully place this thing on this piece. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So there's that bump there, right? Looking kind of nice. And now we get our little accent piece here, which is 0.5 millimeter, which is half the thickness of what we just placed on here. And we can just bump that right up to the edge there, and that's going to create a nice little visual difference, right? But first, let's get the edge finish sanded here a little bit and slightly beveled downward, so we have a little bit of a tighter fit, right? Okay. Let's see how we did here. Okay. So one thing that I'm seeing is that I accidentally caused an angle on this piece. Alright. That looks a little bit better. Yep, a lot better. And then, focus, there's that. That's going to look really quite nice up there, right? That height difference, yeah? That height difference. All right. So, let's get a little bit of super glue on this. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not too shabby. Let's get a little of this super glue squeeze out cleaned up here as best as we can. And there we go. That's a nice little bump right there. A nice little height difference, right? Nothing crazy, just a little something something, right? Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let's clean up this super glue. Just real quick. Okay, looking good there. Good. Come on now. Good. On those sides, perfect. Now this bevel here, and as always, you know, we make the vertical cuts first. We make the horizontal or the surface cuts second. Just works out that way, right? Looking pretty good so far here, kids. All right. Turn this around, get this cut. Very nice. Very nice. And there we are. All right. So last but not least, we're going to put just a little distance between these two pieces. And we're going to use the 0.20 to do that. And this will not only give it a nice little separation, but it will also even up any sort of weird variance in the placement and everything too, because you're going to have a nice consistent 0.2 millimeter gap between both of these pieces, right? Hey now, what's that? Siphus 54. Howdy. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mecha Army. You get one of these. Hey. All right. So we'll get this little scribe in here, and then we'll get caught up with the chat, because I know Bill called me a goofball, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'll see here in a minute, right? There we are. Alright, so let's get this back onto the piece and see kind of how our work is taking shape here, right? Right in there like that. And then this little nubby crest thingy. And there we go. pretty nice. Pretty nice. Panel lines, that little bump right there at the top. I dig it. I dig it. Just adds that, you know, extra panel-y look to this thing, right? And that's sometimes just as subtle as that little bump there can make a huge difference, and I think that it does, honestly. I think that just looks really good. Really, really good. So there we go. Done deal. Easy. Easy peasy. All right, let's get caught up in the chat real quick, yeah? Let's see. Andrew says, Mohawk on a Mohawk? Yeah, why not, right? Run it. Yeah, Mohawk on a Mohawk. Sure. Let's see. Goalie Zero, Carl over there on Twitch, he says, I may have inhaled too much isopropyl alcohol fumes and bought 3 kits in a stupor last night. Also got bits somewhere. They were heavy, so I threw them at him. So that's my Monday. All right. Nice. Julio says, yo, Order 66 just went down in Clone Wars. This show is fire. Julio, that's been out for a few days, man. Oh. Ty Fury says, such a good ending. I'm glad they did one more season. RF says, spoiling the show. Julio says, I just paused Ep 12. I mean, not really spoiled. You know, Order 66 happens. Bill says, did it feature any Republic commandos? If so, then I might watch it. Andrew says, yeah, but I'm not caught up on the cartoon. Nice. Julio says, yeah, nothing spoiled, just that it's good. Have you guys watched the other cartoons? Bill says, spoiler warning, Amuro fights Char. A lot. Nice. Ty Fury says, spoiler warning, Kira yells Atheran. A lot. Right? Bill says, spoiler warning, Tim is both good at building and a goofball. Fair. Superset 5 over there on Twitch, thinking of doing an NT1 Alex or Sananju Stein remix into the Death Scythe for the Bandai Open Decisions. I like the idea of a Sananju Stein into a Death Scythe. If you can pull that off, it'd be pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. Brandon says, anyone ever order from a website called Toy Arena? I have not. Let's see. Bill says, I have seen lots of commercials for that site, but have no experience with them. What are you looking to buy from them? Cyphus54 over there on Twitch, our new follower, says, been following you on Facebook for a while, but didn't know you twitched. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's all simulcast. This stream is all simulcast on all of them. Every single one. Bill says, Tim, we have seen you on Mechanism. You gave away the right to challenge being a goofball a long time ago. Oh, I'm not challenging. I'm not challenging one bit. I just wanted to see why you called me a goofball. That's all. Shit. Just curious. Don't get sensitive, Bill. Anyway, Brandon says mechanics Bulma variable number 19 bike. Oh, okay. Alex says, we're going to bounce. See y'all. Stay safe. Alex, thank you for watching, buddy. Let's see. Brandon, I think USA Gundam Store has that. Yeah, maybe. Check it. Check it out. Anywho. Good deal. All right, kiddos. It's 5:04. Let's go camera 1, and let's get this bad boy back up in here. Just like that. Yes, sir. All right. So, you guys. Good stream today. We got a little bit of work done here on this this dumb SD build, right? But hey, rocking the Anaheim Electronics today. If you want one of these hats, hit up www.chowdamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this hat, many more shirts, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff in there. Go load it up. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here today, there's an Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It definitely goes to help out me, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward, all that fun stuff, right? You know, there's a bunch of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials, books for inspiration, and gear for streaming. So if you want to get into that now is definitely a good time, right? And as always, if you are interested in kits, tools, paints, materials, accessories, stuff like that, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here. USA Gundam Store, Adam and the fine crew down there will definitely have what you need. And then last, if you enjoy this show, if you get anything out of it, if you get entertainment, if you learn stuff from it, man, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff on the different social medias. And if you know somebody or a group that could benefit from watching this, share it with them. It's easy, and it's a nice thing to do, right? All right, kids. So I'll be back here in a little less than 5 hours. We're going to jump back on to the GBWC 2021 build, and we're going to continue to work on that and kick that thing in its ass and kind of remold the Jesta into my vision of the RX-78. So come on back for that. That should be fun. Anywho, if I don't see you tonight, I will see you tomorrow for the early stream, and we're going to continue working on this SD build tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time here. Aside from that, guys, have fun. Be safe out there. Use some common sense. Wash your hands. But most importantly, build something cool. All right. See you guys.